Every teacher a champion. Behind every great mind is a teacher. It takes work, but you show up when we need ya. So we got to support.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us once more. We are talking today with Nicole Bruce. She is remind me of your title, Nicole?
I am the account executive assigned to the JTA Co-op Credit Union. And I also have with me here Abigail Scott, who is also the sales associate assigned to JTA. So you have a dynamic duo on call with you today.
Nicole and Abigail.
Yes.
Thank you both for joining us. So I look forward to hearing from both of you. We're going to be talking today about the Family Indemnity Plan. It's one of those flagship products that the credit union offers. And it is, as most persons would know, something that actually originates from Cuna Caribbean. So I really want to, it's a wonderful product, and we encourage all of our members to make use of this product. But I do think that sometimes people need some reinforcement. They need some more information about something, and that's why we have invited you, Nicole and Abigail, to talk with us today as representatives from Cuna. Can you give me tell us very briefly, what is Cuna Caribbean?
Okay, great. No problem. First of all, thanks again for having us. We always welcome these opportunities to share with the members and, of course, to share with the staff of the JTA Credit Union. All right, so Cuna Caribbean. Cuna is actually representative of the Credit Union National Association. So we are an organization that is specifically designed to serve the credit union and their extended members, right? We've been in the Caribbean for over 60 years, and we've been partnering with the credit union for around about the same time. So we are old-time friends and partners, JTA and Cuna, right? Cuna is Cuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited is actually the international arm of a larger company, which is True Stage. Our parent company is actually situated in the United States. For the international arm of Cuna Caribbean Insurance Jamaica Limited, we serve credit unions right across the English-speaking and Spanish-speaking Caribbean with over 1 million members, right? And over, 100 institutions in terms of credit unions. So even though we work closely with the credit union, we stand solidly behind the credit union. We are, in fact, an international company and have been supporting the credit union internationally for years.
Thank you so much. That is quite
a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, but it's also very good information, because sometimes just kind of stepping back and looking at the organization kind of helps to put things into perspective. So it is very good to know that that Cuna Caribbean is a part of a wider organization that is actually an international organization. So it helps to put things into context. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
And if I may just add one aspect of it, that is where we actually differ from the other insurance companies in our market. We actually are designed to serve the needs specifically of your members. So when it comes on to adaptability, to affordability, to transparency, we are the market leaders, because everything that we have is designed to support the credit union and, again, by extension, their members.
That's very good to hear. Thank you, because credit union members are very special people, and so it's wonderful when we have things that are tailor-made for them.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so Nicole and Abigail, can any one of you just tell me very, very quickly what exactly is the Family Indemnity Plan for those who may not know?
Okay. All right. So the Family Indemnity Plan is the most popular product that we have. A lot of Jamaicans love this product. It's affectionately called the FIP. The product itself is actually the Family Indemnity Plan with critical illness rider, right? And this plan, as mentioned before, in terms of what we try to do, is very simple, very easy, very affordable, and very transparent, right? And we designed it with the average Jamaican in mind. Now, the Family Indemnity Plan, which of course is offered by the JTA Credit Union, provides comprehensive death benefits to not only the member, but to the member's spouse, to the member's parents or parents-in-law or a combination thereof, and to the member's children once they're unmarried and under 26. So what does all of that mean? It means that you can access coverage anywhere between $80,000 per person up to $2 million per person for one flat premium, right? For up to 6 persons on one certificate. And let's just go through the 6 persons again that we cover. We'll cover the member. Once you're a member of the credit union, you have absolute access to this product. So we'll cover the member first and foremost. The member can now cover the spouse, married or unmarried. We also cover the parents, can be the member's parents, or it can be the spouse's parents, or a combination of both. And we also cover the children once they're unmarried and under 26. So for one flat premium, you are able to cover up to 6 persons on one certificate, right? And what we're most popularly known for, outside of the fact that the product is very simple, it's very, very easy, you have up to 11 plans from which to choose. We pride ourselves in stepping in the gap in terms of quick turnaround time when you need it most. So not only do we cover up to these 6 persons on one certificate, we provide the service of claim at the time when it is needed most. And when I say comprehensive coverage, what I'm referring to is death benefit, right? A lot of Jamaicans refer to it as a funeral plan. It's not the funeral plan, it's the Family Indemnity Plan that is designed to provide cash for funeral purposes, and we aim to do so within 48 hours of us or of the member going to the credit union and making or filing a claim. Right, so not only is it an easy product, it's a product that steps in the gap really quickly, which Jamaicans tend to gravitate to heavily.
Okay, thank you so much, Nicole. That was quite a bit. I think I kind of want to pick it apart and ask. Okay,
pick it apart, pick away.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, you said that it is a death benefit. Is that what you called it? I want to make sure I'm getting okay,
right.
Fine. So it only the Family Indemnity Plan only covers you can only make a claim on this plan if somebody on the plan has died.
Right.
And
so sorry, didn't mean to cut you. So first and foremost, it is an insurance that provides death benefit. So if any one of the persons that we listed dies, be it accidental or natural death, we provide that support in the form of cash.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. So that sounds really good to my ears already, because and I know it sounds good to a lot of persons. But sometimes I know that sometimes there's some sort of hiccups that can occur that would, because you did say that the claim that you aim to pay out within 48 hours. What are some of the things that might occur that would hinder the payout from happening within that time frame? Because that's a very short and very nice sounding time frame for me. What would stop it?
All right. So once you become a member and you apply for your FIP and you get approved, and there is an event of death of any one of the persons that we would have listed as being eligible for coverage, the member can go into the JTA Credit Union, or anybody can make a claim, right? Can go in, they would be required to go into the credit union, complete a claims form, right? Attached to the claim form, there are some supporting documents that being the death certificate and the burial order. And also the ID, the birth certificate.
And for the member who submitted the claim, it's just the ID proof of address that is needed.
Right. You got that, Denise?
No, repeat that for me, please. Go again. So we need the ID.
For members submitting the claim, they would need for them their ID and a proof of address. And for the deceased person, we need the death certificates or a proof of death form that Cuna provides that gives a short span of time to submit the claim, and also the ID or birth certificate for the deceased person. Easy one to submit a claim.
Okay, good. So if any one of those documents are missing, then it will impact how quickly the claim can be processed. Right? All right, great. So I just want our members just to reiterate, can you just list those items for me again so that we know exactly what we're looking for?
So for a member submitting the claim, we'll need an ID and the proof of address. And for the deceased person, two of the most important things are the proof of death or the death certificates. And also they can provide the medical certificate. So we have 3 documents that they can submit to use as the proof of death, and also the ID and the birth certificate. However, if you cannot find one of those documents, we do accept either or the ID or the birth certificates, just to be clear.
Okay, very nice, very nice. So you're saying to me that we can cover quite a few persons under this plan. Is a very small amount because we're dealing with persons in the credit union movement, and we want to make sure that they can manage this plan comfortably. And it's a very easy process and short process turnaround time to get your claim once you have put it in. All right. So another thing that you mentioned, Nicole, is that it is actually called the FIP with critical illness.
Yes.
Why critical illness? What is this critical illness part? Because is that
no problem.
Benefit? What is this?
So we can provide you with additional information regarding the critical illness. But before we do that, we just want it to be very clear in terms of the options available to the members. So you have up to 11 plans. We have Plan A all the way down to Plan K, right? A Plan A is for $422.40, and that provides coverage for $80,000 per person. A Plan B is for $633.60, and that provides a coverage benefit of $120,000 per person. Plan C is for $792, and that provides coverage for $150,000 per person on the certificate. A Plan B is for $1,320. That provides coverage for $250,000 per person. A Plan E is for $2,112. That provides coverage for $400,000 per person. A Plan F is for $3,432. That covers each person for $650,000. A Plan G, which is a very popular product, and I know a lot of your listeners would probably be more au fait with the Plan G, which up to a year ago was our highest plan. That is for $5,280, and each person is covered for $1 million. We now have a Plan H, which is for $6,864. That provides $1.3 million per person. Plan I for $8,864. That covers each person on the certificate or policy for $1.6 million. Plan J is for $10,458. That covers each person for 1.8. And our highest plan to date is Plan K, as in kick. That is for $12,680, and that covers each person for $2 million. Right?
Sounds good. Yeah.
So your members have several options to choose from, one that suits their pocket. And if they start at a particular plan and the circumstances change, they can upgrade. If they start at a high plan and the circumstances change, they can downgrade. So not only is it an easy plan, not only is it comprehensive, it's very flexible and considerate to the circumstances that prevail with the Jamaican household and cash flow. We all know how that goes, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I love the fact that you can go up and down. You're not
Yes.
locked into any one thing. That really makes a lot of sense, and it makes it really does help, as you say, the average Jamaican household. Absolutely. Awesome.
Yes.
And there's so many
Right.
choices. Oh my goodness, you
Yes,
can pick,
so
choose,
many
and
choices.
refuse.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Right? There's something for everybody in the pot,
Yeah,
right? So
absolutely.
now it brings us nicely to the living benefit. We discussed
Mm-hmm.
the death benefits that is extended to everybody that we had stated earlier on the policy. Now, the living benefit is only extended to the member, right? So only the member can access the critical illness benefit on the FIP. Now, what is this critical illness benefit? Now, outside of the benefit provided for the FIP, the member can be covered for critical illness. We cover cancer, we cover heart attack, we cover stroke, major burns, and paralysis. Upon first diagnosis of any one of these illnesses, it's a first diagnosis plan. So the member can go into the credit union, complete or initiate a claim, and we will pay a claim of either $1 million or $500,000 based on what the member would have applied for. But what is important to note, and what we actively want to communicate, is that your members can access up to $1 million in critical illness coverage that is paid separate and apart from the FIP if they are diagnosed with any one of the illnesses that we would have stated earlier.
Okay, sorry, I have two questions from that. So one, you're saying that if I am a member of the JTA Co-op Credit Union and I have, let's say, a husband and children, two or three children, and
Yes.
everybody in my family were on the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband dies and we took out the FIP for $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that every month we are paying, let me just make sure that I got this right. So it's $1 million. So every month we're paying
5,280. Mm-hmm.
Right. So God forbid, let's say my husband should die.
Mm-hmm. God
And
forbid.
yeah, God forbid. We now can make a claim for $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
But I am the member. So I'm the only one who can have the critical illness rider.
Mm-hmm.
So I take up the critical illness for another $1
Mm-hmm.
million and I'm paying my monthly premiums. But then tragedy strikes again and I end up with, let's say, a major burn. I can claim a separate $1 million for me.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay, so let us say that I end up with this major burn and I get the critical illness $1 million and I'm fine. And another year passes. After I have claimed this $1 million for the critical illness, can I keep the plan or is it finished?
Okay, so excellent questions. All right, so in the example that you just stated, it's important to note that you would be covered for $1 million in critical illness coverage. You would also be covered for $1 million in death benefit. Your child would be covered for $1 million, and we already examined the option of the spouse that would have passed, God forbid. That would basically lead to us paying $1 million for that spouse. And just to note, you can add another spouse if you so choose. That is how flexible the plan is.
What?
Yes, girl. So outside of all of that, right? God forbid you would have been diagnosed with a major burn. We would pay the $1 million critical illness benefit to you. After that, you would not be able to access any critical illness benefit because that aspect of the portfolio would be closed. You still, however, would be covered for $1 million in death benefit. That does not affect the FIP benefits any at all. Right? Okay. So really, it's a portfolio of coverage that you have. You would have had the critical illness benefit that you would have exercised upon the diagnosis of the major burns, right? And then you would have had the death benefit, which is, part and parcel of the FIP.
Oh, good. Nice. That clarifies a lot for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so our membership, as you know, at the JTA Co-op Credit Union, we serve persons who are employed in the education sector, but sometimes most of our members, I'm saying, they have relatives, and their relatives might be police officers or persons in other professions. And so they may already, let's say that they have a brother or a sister who has a plan, who has a FIP with another credit union. And I'm using the example of parents who are on the plan. And the child or the sibling who has the FIP with another credit union should pass, or they want to change up their circumstances. Is it possible for that sibling who is not a member of the JTA Co-op Credit Union to transfer their FIP to the member of the JTA Credit Union? Do you understand that question? I hope it's
okay.
not.
It's a good question, but there's a lot to unpack in terms of options that is available to the member, right? And I'm going to try to see if I can go through it itemizingly so it's very clear. With one of the policy provisions of the FIP is that you can only be covered once, right? In the instance that you would have shared, you are querying if a member has a relative at another credit union, or say a parent, and they want to cover that parent on the FIP that they have at JT, how would they go about doing that? Is that what you were asking?
Right.
Yes?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Right. All right. So in that instance, if it is that you have a member and that member is wanting to cover either a spouse or a parent or a child that is already covered on another FIP at another institution, the option that is available to the member at that point is to, in the event of the spouse or the parent, that insurability would have to be transferred because you're not able to be covered twice. So what does that look like, or what does that mean? It would mean that the spouse that is already covered or the parent that is already covered would have to pen a letter, some correspondence, to say that I, Nicole Bruce, would like to transfer my coverage from existing plan to my daughter's plan or my husband's plan at the JTA Credit Union, right? That would be the first thing. Now, after that letter is penned, then the member would now have to complete a change of insured plan to add that person to their plan.
Okay, I got you.
So it can be facilitated, right? Anything that a member wants to have happen can be facilitated. We can simply transfer the coverage from an existing plan to a new plan. And like I said, the walkthrough would be that we would request the letter, and of course, we would require the documents. But at every junction, at every transaction, a member will be informed adequately in terms of what needs to take place to, to provide them with what it is they're looking for. And if it is that you have a teacher that has a FIP at another credit union and would like to transfer their entire FIP to your credit union, that can also be facilitated. It is very important to note that based on how dynamic the product is, we have a solution and a walkthrough for every conceivable option a member would like to undertake. And there are many.
Wow, thank you so much. This plan sounds like it's what do you call it? A cure-all almost.
Yes.
Almost like that.
We
Yeah.
hit every note and every bell.
Yeah, you
Yes.
thought about everything with this plan. With the,
Yes, we
you
did.
know, it's a very good plan, and I find that sometimes persons, they hear about it, they like it, they want to take it up, and
Mhm.
you know, sometimes they mean to, but they don't necessarily do it right away. I want to ask, this is my final question for this afternoon, though. What are
Sure.
some of the misconceptions or misunderstandings that you have encountered about the Family Indemnity Plan that you would like to clarify at this time, if any?
Right. So one of the biggest misconceptions is pretty much that members underestimate the value of the plan. Members that have the plan and members that prospectively want to take out the plan. Members that have the plan, a lot of times you speak to them, they didn't know they have the critical illness rider. They didn't know they can go up to 2 million. They didn't know they can make a claim for this person. They didn't know they could open a plan for their sister and pay for it separately. So I find a lot of the feedback that we get, especially from the members, is that they absolutely are unaware of all the benefits that the FIP with critical illness rider provides them. So, what we recommend in that instance is that we have the responsibility as a company to continuously educate our members, and we do encourage the credit union to do so as well, to have those active conversations and engagements with their members, just to reiterate and to remind them of what they have and what they can do to provide absolute coverage for themselves and their families. And for persons or members of the credit union that don't have the FIP, just to reinforce that, listen, once you're a member, you can take out a FIP. That is your benefit, that is your leverage, that is your currency, and we encourage you to use it to your fullest, because we'll meet 5 people on a day-to-day basis that thank us for taking out the FIP. We've never met one person that isn't happy that they took it out. And with insurance, you never see the need for it until it's too late. So we always encourage people to exercise the options that they have at the credit union.
Thank you for saying that, Nicole. Thank you so much for sharing. You are right. Sometimes people do underestimate the value of the Family Indemnity Plan, but it's a wonderful product. It's a wonderful product. I can tell you from my personal experience. I had a family member who died last year, August, and it was actually my stepfather, and my sister had a FIP for him, and the claim came through real quickly, and we were able to do what we needed to do.
Right. One less thing to worry about.
One less thing to worry about. I'm telling you, it makes a big difference. It makes a real big difference. So thank you so much. It really is beneficial, and I'm encouraging anybody who does not have one to please get one. If you have one, think about if it is possible for you to upgrade the plan. It only helps. It doesn't hurt.
Yes, and it's easy transaction.
And it's easy peasy, easy peasy. Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you, Abigail, for joining us.
You're most welcome. You are very welcome, Denise. Anytime.
All right.
Every teacher a champion, behind every great mind is a teacher. It takes work, but you show up when we need ya. So we got to support your goals, build your dreams and help you grow. We celebrate you and we got to let you know, more than a member, you are family. At the JTA Credit Union, you can count on us to serve you. You make the difference for everyone. Every teacher a champion. JTA Co-op Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.